Welcome back to the Call Slip.
My name's Bryce.
And my name's Haley. This past week we read Yesteryear by Caro Burke.
Okay, the summary of the book is: My name was Natalie Heller Mills, and I was perfect at being alive. Natalie lives a traditional lifestyle. Her charming farmhouse is rustic, her husband a handsome cowboy, her 6 children, each more delightful than the last. So what if there are nannies and producers behind the scenes? Her kitchen hiding in industrial-grade fridges and ovens, her husband the heir to a political dynasty. What Natalie's followers, all 8 million of them, don't know won't hurt them. And the angry women, the privileged Ivy League coastal elite haters who call her an anti-feminist iconoclast, they're sick with jealousy. Because Natalie isn't simply living the good life, she's living the ideal, and it just so happens to be building an empire from it. Until one morning, she wakes up in a life that isn't hers. Her home, her husband, her children, they're all familiar, but something's off. Her kitchen is warmed by a sputtering fire rather than electricity. Her children are dirty and strange, and her soft-handed husband is suddenly a competent farmer. Just yesterday, Natalie was curating photos of homemade jam for her Instagram, and now she's expected to haul firewood and hand-wash clothes until her fingers bleed? Has she become some unwitting star of a ruthless reality show? Could it really be time travel? Is she being tested by God? By Satan? When Natalie suffered a brutal injury in the woods, she realizes 2 things. This is not her beautiful life, and she must escape by any means possible. I'm done.
Okay. I literally could sit here and listen to you read that. I don't know why.
I don't know. I couldn't read it myself.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was rough. Reading that was almost as rough as listening to the book.
Oh. But I thought the book was good.
It was good, but it was sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
Spoilers are ahead. If you want to read this book, come back to listen. If you don't want to read the book and just kind of get our feelings for it and what we thought about it, stay and listen. What would you rate it?
I really didn't know where it was going.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of surprised me at the end, even though as you get closer to the end, you kind of start to guess a little bit. But I'd probably give it a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 4 too. It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, here's all this information. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did feel like you got a lot of information, but I also found it really difficult to kind of assess what is happening sometimes because you're just kind of in her stream of consciousness and you're just kind of listening to her thoughts as they run by. And sometimes it gets a little confusing.
Yes. So, start of this book, there is a girl who is about to head off to college. She lives with her mother and sister where their dad has passed away, but not really passed away. We learn in the beginning that he apparently cheated and they don't want to get divorced because the religion that they follow, they don't believe in divorce. So he's essentially moved on, and now their mom and her sister live together in this house, her older sister. And so she ends up going off to college away from her family. And she meets this boy who she falls in love with, I guess. And he's his whole family is in a political dynasty. His dad, his grandfather have all been senators, congressmen, whatever. And his dad is hoping to become president one day.
He ran already once and didn't win.
I think once or twice.
I thought it was just once.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he ran once already.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to Harvard.
Yeah, which is a very prestigious school.
And she got a scholarship to go to Harvard.
Yeah, I think it was like a full scholarship because she was like, I couldn't afford it anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even remember what she was studying. But so yeah, she's at Harvard. Her roommate is a bit of a partier. She ends up getting a single room after a few instances where she makes some not nice words to her roommate, and then her roommate kind of attacks her, so she ends up in a single room, and she's just kind of living life, going to school, and then she meets this boy, Caleb.
She meets him at like a...
Is it like a...
It's like a religious thing.
That's true.
Like they invited her to like a Bible study or something.
Yes, because she was, after she had moved out to, or after she had moved into the single room, you know, she was kind of just living life, going through college. She wasn't really doing much. So someone else in her class was also religious and was like, hey, why don't you come over to a Bible study? Ended up meeting them. She went back and they met, and it kind of hit it off, I guess, from what we hear. And yeah, his whole family's in politics. They get married very quickly. Yeah. Like that within months, right?
I think so. Like, within the year.
Within the year, but she's also becomes pregnant within that first school year. Mm-hmm. And so she's pregnant. They end up...
She decides that, well, I guess, I don't know, together, her decide that she's going to drop out and finish her degree either online or later, at a later time. And Raina is the roommate's name.
Yes.
And she does not like Raina.
Oh, no. She calls her very not nice words.
Yeah. She was very rude to her roommate.
Yeah. But I guess her roommate also should have, like...
I mean, she probably should have been a little bit more considerate with having all of her friends over and...
Through literally throwing a party every weekend.
Yeah, in the dorm room, that's a little much.
Yeah. I understand wanting to be social, but you also need to be considerate of your roommate who...
Yeah. Clearly is not a partier.
Exactly. And all of, like, her roommate's friends were like, oh, wow, like... Look at your clothes. Treating her like a novelty. Yeah, like her clothes are so covered and things like that. And it, honestly, that part of the book, I was just like, this is crazy. You think it's like that starts off and she says like really not nice words to them, and I'm just like, I'm like, something's wrong mentally with her. And yeah, so she's pregnant. And then, what is it? Like, at that first year, she ends up giving birth after that first year, and Caleb doesn't help. I don't know if he's still going to school at that point. I don't feel like we really know much of him.
I think he was older than her, and I think he was graduating that year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then she dropped out, but then they moved in with what?
Well,
her parents?
They didn't move in until, like, the baby was a few months old, because...
Where were they living before that?
Near the college.
Oh.
So he could finish.
Oh, right.
So, but she gave birth, and first of all, very graphic birthing details that we got, and I was just like, this is crazy. She gives birth, and her mom immediately is like, well, you know what'll make you feel better?
Hold on. She's clearly having some sort of like postpartum depression situation where she's not recognizing the baby. She keeps saying that like, that's not my child. That's not my child. She's dealing with a lot internally.
Yes.
I think after that. And I don't think that the birthing plan went to her like what she wanted to do. Yes. I think, things just kind of went off the rails a little bit on that one. But afterwards, the nurse offers like, hey, do you need to like talk to someone? Do you need a psychiatrist?
And it's only like 24 hours after birth.
Yeah, it was really soon. Yeah. And that's when her mom decided she'd had the bright idea.
Yeah, her mom was like, oh, she's fine. You know what would really help her? If she went for a jog around the hospital 24 hours after giving birth.
And the nurse is like, actually, no,
that's
she won't be doing that. No. You could rip your stitches, and there was all kinds of stuff.
She ended up sneaking out in the middle of nursing shifts and just, went for a nice jog around the hospital.
Well, she realized, I think, part of the way through that she had made a mistake, though.
Yes, and she was struggling. And by the time she got back through the door, she was bleeding.
They had to wheel her back in.
I think they had to redo some stuff. She needed some more stitches now. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So they get back to their house from the hospital, and Caleb is a nightmare. He's not doing anything. He's just like, I should be a babysitter. I love babies.
Yeah,
And
he doesn't have a job.
Yeah, he doesn't have a job. He just is essentially, he watches the baby, but he doesn't like feed the baby or like help with he does nothing except like
play with the baby.
He's like, I love playing with babies, la la la. And it's I mean, I could see from her side it's very frustrating that she's just like taking all of this mentally, and he's not like he won't wake up. He ended up moving into a different room so he didn't have to wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I was just like, are you kidding me? So that's when she calls her mother. And her mom goes, well, why don't you call his mom and let him know what he's been doing? So she gets Caleb's mom on the phone.
Well, wait, that was after the yoga incident, right? That was her breaking point when she was telling him, like, I need you to, like, get up and get a job. I need you to do something. Like, aren't you passionate about anything?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't know. And he brings home a yoga mat. Her mom hides the yoga mat, but then he goes and finds it at the same time that all of the other men in the neighborhood are driving to work in their suits.
Yeah.
He is out front on the lawn.
Doing yoga. When he should be going to work. Now, granted, his family, I'm sure, is paying for everything.
They are
because they're
wealthy.
But that doesn't excuse your childish and lack of ambition.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's crazy that that happened.
She calls his mother.
Yes.
And then they move in with his parents for a while.
Like 12 hours away across the country. And yeah, his parents are just like, we thought you were really going to change him and he would step up and be a better man. And he's just like this person who wants to play video games all day.
I think that was her wake-up call, too, because she really thought that his parents were going to help her change.
Yeah.
Like, help him change as an adult, and he's not going to.
Well, I know what her mother-in-law wanted her to do, is to take pills.
Well, that's what she was doing.
Which I felt really bad for their mother-in-law, because she was just trying to get through life, and she was drinking and taking pills. And I was like, that is not a good idea. So there was one evening where her mother-in-law was like, oh, I'll watch the baby, their first daughter. Why don't you go take a bath, like freshen up, like do yourself up, like you'll feel better and whatnot. And she was like, oh, like I'm not sure, like maybe another time. But her mother-in-law ends up kind of getting her to go take a shower, and in the bathroom there is an assortment of like her hair dryer, hair products, makeup, and everything. And then there's a little white pill sitting on the counter, and I'm just like, what's going on here? What are we doing?
She left it for her. Oh, but before all of that, don't you remember before I think they moved in with all of that, when they were still on their own, Caleb was trying to cheer her up after they got back home from the hospital. So he bought her some new running shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And a stroller that was meant for, like, running. And she's just like, oh, cool, thanks. Like, I can't run right now.
Yeah.
And also,
but
if I want to go run, I don't want to take the baby.
She did end up walking, which was good. So
yeah, she did spend a lot of time walking, but she wasn't walking with the baby. She would leave the baby with her mom and then go walk.
Yeah. I don't know. I just felt really bad for...
Not that I think that's a bad idea.
No.
Like, you definitely need some personal time. It sounded... The way I said it sounded
especially
like very accusatory
that
she was leaving the child with her mom. But, no, that's not the issue. It was the issue that a week or two later, he's like, hey, why don't you go run? You always enjoyed that.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't know. I feel bad for Natalie because it's also like some of the comments her mom makes are like, oh, well, you should be happy. Like, you just had a baby and all of this. And it's like, okay, yes, it's really a happy time, but like
comments.
Yes, really toxic comments. And now we realize that her mother-in-law is like taking pills and is pretty much drunk a lot of the time.
Well, and Natalie didn't take the one that she left her in the bathroom.
She did not. Which I was like, thank gosh, because
you've got an infant.
You're probably nursing. You don't want to give that to the baby. But I don't know. I just think that whole situation was crazy, and I was like, what is happening? If I didn't think this was crazy before, it's even more crazier now. So there's three parts to this book. Her having her like her moving into this house with her family and figuring out what they should want to do. Her husband ends up is like, I want to be a kindergarten teacher. And she's like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. And I guess he at one point said he wanted to be what, a cowboy or
Yeah, it was like in passing when they were dating or something.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I've always wanted to be a cowboy. I always thought that would be
And
cool."
it was something else, yeah. So she starts looking online and sees this huge, like,
Ranch.
acreage ranch available for sale. And she calls the buyer to tell them, like, oh,
Oh, no,
yeah,
the
like,
seller.
oh, I thought,
She's
oh,
the
yes,
buyer.
yes, she's the buyer. Brain. So she calls the seller and is like, hey, like, oh, your ranch looks so beautiful.
We're really interested in buying this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to live off the land, all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
And he's like, oh, thank you so much for telling me. And he's telling a bunch of different stories. And she's just sitting there listening. And at first, they don't accept his offer. But then she was like, oh, offer some more. And they did. So,
Well, first he told her, like, you don't want to deal with this. It's way too much work. Like, you don't realize everything that's going to go into this.
yeah.
And so
Owning
he was...
and it was a cattle ranch at
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
He was like, owning this is going to be way more difficult than you think it is. All of
Mhm.
these young couples now, they just want to, like, live this ideal lifestyle and they don't realize what it entails.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you don't want to do this. And so he was going to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
And she told them to give them way above asking price. And
Yeah.
then he accepted it. And then she goes to her father-in-law and is like, can I have a small loan of $5 million?
Not even a loan. She's like, you're buying this house for me and Caleb. We're
Well,
going to go be a cowboy.
Well, yeah, like, I guess a loan in the sense of, can I have $5 million?
Yeah. And so she was like, this $5 million will pay for it and the renovations and 3 years of like startup. So they end up they get out to the house in the middle of like nowhere, Idaho. And there's like nothing around them, obviously, other than maybe like a ranch and then the ranch that's 5 miles away. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, we're really going to live off the land. And they completely gut out the house. They pretty much
They found mold.
Oh, yeah.
So-
They found a lot of mold.
Yeah, so they actually got pushed back on their move-in time. And
Yes.
she was the one who was like, yeah, we should just move in with the mold. It'll be fine. And Caleb
like,
was
you
like,
have a baby.
No.
Yeah. Which was good.
Yeah.
So a lot of that 5 million probably went to eating up that mold.
Well, it went to that and it went to the renovations.
Yes. But they didn't have a lot of renovations left, remember? Or they didn't have a lot of money left for renovations. That's what was taking so long on it. Because I guess none of the contractors were like, if you pushed like this whole thing back in time, because they wanted to essentially look like it was from a while back, not dilapidated, but like a farmhouse
Like
from like the
ideal-
1800s.
The ideal farmhouse before electricity and all of that.
Yes. Obviously, you'd have your sink, your sink and whatnot, but everything else was going to be behind closed doors. Like the microwave, the refrigerator, anything like that
It
is
was all hidden.
hidden in the pantry. Yeah.
Well, I think it was hidden in like the panels
Yes.
of the kitchen. That was what I guess envisioned.
Okay.
Of
Yeah,
like,
I kind of had
like a cabinet, but it's actually just a
the
refrigerator.
Yeah, I kind of figure, or I was thinking of more like, oh, the microwave could be hidden and like all your appliances, like smaller appliances
in a
could be hidden
pantry.
in a pantry.
Yeah.
And then other than your refrigerator.
Well, and it was funny too because the contractor they finally got to agree to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
He at the end was like, "So, do you want to build an outhouse or are you good with indoor plumbing?"
Yeah. Which I was like, no, thank you. I would like indoor plumbing.
I mean, well, that's what they did, but
yes.
still.
So this is almost towards the end of part 1. I think she ends up getting, she doesn't get pregnant again, but part of this stipulation with her father-in-law that he would buy this house is that she needs to produce more babies.
Yeah, he needs more grandchildren.
Yeah. When they moved in to the house and everything, she was like, Caleb, like, we need to have more children. Clementine, their first daughter, needs to have younger siblings and whatnot. And he is having an issue. And nothing can really happen. So she gives him a bowl and goes, do what you need to do. And she turkey based herself.
Ooh. He just seems not into it.
No. And I, first of all, died out laughing when I heard that because I know I asked you this. But this same whole kind of theory, not that, like, the turkey basting part, happens in the show Jane the Virgin. And I died when it happened. And it just reminded me of it. And I was like, this is hilarious. It's really not because I feel bad. So she ends up getting pregnant from turkey basting herself. And they pop out four more kids.
Eventually.
And in that time, they hire some help for the farm. They hire 2 nannies for the kids.
Yeah, and a producer.
And a producer who comes in at the end of part 1.
Yeah, that helps her, like, make some of her videos for Instagram and everything, because she's Instagram famous.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, she ends up having, like, at the end, like, 8 million or so followers. And
she's got a lot.
Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the end of part 1.
And she's pretty obsessed with, checking the comments on these videos and, checking how they're doing. She constantly is looking.
Yes.
And her children aren't allowed to have a phone.
No. Everybody except, probably who knows even if her husband has a phone. I don't think we really know that.
I mean, I'm sure he does. He's got a computer in his barn.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So, yeah. And at one point, her oldest daughter is like, I don't want to be in videos anymore.
Yeah, she was trying to video her and, get her to tell her what her favorite part of going to the Target was. And she's like, I don't want to be videoed.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then she was kind of like, all you have to do is tell me, that you didn't want to be videoed and whatnot. And it was just a strange interaction because her other daughter didn't have that issue. I mean, every kid is their own.
Well, and
some
she
of
was
them
the oldest.
Yes. So she knows what's going, I think she kind of knows what's going on. But yeah, it was just very strange. And so at this time, at the end of part 1, she is pregnant with their 6th child. Mm-hmm. Their oldest is probably a preteen. I think she's 11 or 12 or something like that. And, her other kids are being homeschooled by a nanny. She has a lot of Instagram followers. And her husband pretty much watches YouTube and will milk their dairy cow pretty much during the day.
Yeah, that's all he wants to do.
That's all he really wants to do.
They have the hired
help.
That comes
from
out.
Home Depot.
Yeah, that comes out and does the fields and stuff.
And the producer, when she first starts, she's like, wow, I didn't realize you had so many people working for you. And it's just
and she started immediately taking all of these pictures.
Oh gosh, I forgot the producer's name. Shannon or something?
Yeah, Shannon.
My thought was just if you have this huge farm, how do you not have help, though?
Right. I mean, that would be really difficult to do all on your own.
I mean, I understand, not showcasing that, but you could always just be like, oh yeah, our farm's hands helped us grab all this veggie and stuff like that.
I guess if they're trying to make it, she's just trying to make it seem like they're the ideal family where they do everything for themselves.
But that's physically not possible.
It depends on how big the operation is, though.
But that's true. It does, but in the beginning they're like, oh, this is a huge farm with a lot of cows. So if you have that much land, you're clearly not.
You would need help.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could get it all done in
one day.
And
with 6 kids, she was overwhelmed with 1.
Yeah.
So, or 5 kids and pregnant with the 6th.
They got the nannies pretty quick after that 2nd or 3rd one.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was maybe after the 2nd one. She was like, I need help. And then after, 3 or 4, she had the 2nd nanny. Mm-hmm. So, whole part 1, it was thinking wow, where is this headed? I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, I'm confused. And I was suspicious about Shannon, the producer. I was kind of also suspicious about Clementine, their oldest daughter, because all of a sudden she suddenly doesn't want to be in the movie. She's going on walks with their producer. And then Caleb, I just didn't like in general.
Yeah, I didn't like him. He was just a man-child.
And his whole family. I was just
and they enabled him to be that way.
Yeah.
They never told him grow up.
Yeah.
I was suspicious of Shannon, and you learn more kind of at the end.
Yeah.
But I was concerned for Natalie in the sense of just she has a lot of hate.
And she has a lot
internally.
on her plate.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
she's got a lot of hate inside of her.
Yeah, because she would say some stuff, because you're essentially, like, you're in her mind. So she would be like, oh, and, you know, and she would always, like, pray, and she was very religious and kept to that aspect, but sometimes she would just say things like,
And just nasty things.
just nasty
about
things
people.
about people, about herself, everything, and then she would be like, oh, sorry, God, like, you know, and like, pray for the goodness instead, and I'm just like, she needs help.
And it was like, she was also kind of in this delusional place where she's like, oh, these people hate me because I'm perfect. Like,
Yeah.
she was in that very weird mental state of thinking these
Yeah.
things, and it was weird. It was weird.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't know where part 2 was going, but we get to part 2, and Natalie, she wakes up one morning and she was cold.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets up and she was cold and the blanket wasn't right.
Yeah.
So she's like, this is not my house. This is not anything. I don't remember any of this. Like, she's like, this is my bedroom, but it's not my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gets up, her door was closed, and she ends up hearing kids outside of her bedroom, and somebody yells, Mama. Oh my God, the kids yelling Mama all day, I think I would crack under pressure too. And she's like, oh, okay, maybe these are my kids. And she gets out there and she's like, these are 4 kids. I don't know who these children are. And she's like, why, what's happening? She doesn't know anything. And she ends up running.
Yeah.
And because she's like, I don't know who any of these people are. So, or she's running out of the house, and I think she stops and she sees someone who looks like her husband.
Yeah.
But it's not. And so she ends up calling that person Old Caleb. And she was like, this is not my husband. Like, I don't know who this is. This place looks like my house, but not really. It looks dilapidated. And she's clearly going through something. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, I have to get out of here. And she starts running. She ends up getting into the forest and steps on a bear trap, which I would be screaming. And I don't know if she said she was screaming or
she
like,
definitely was.
So she's sitting there and she's like, how do I get this bear trap off myself?
I mean, she's definitely screaming.
Yes. And she's like trying to pry it apart. Old Caleb is running towards her and she's like, I need to get away from him. Clearly she doesn't, and ends up he gets the bear trap off and he takes her back to the house, and he's talking to these kids, these other 4 kids that are sitting here, and like, we need to bandage up this. And she still remembers essentially what I'm thinking, her past life in this moment of like, we need to go to the ambulance, I need stitches, we need to go to the hospital, like I need an x-ray.
Or her real life.
Her real life, not her past life, I guess. Her real life versus this
new reality
she's living in. And all of a sudden, one of the kids comes over with a needle and a thread. And first of all, I would have been like, don't you come near me. Get away from me.
You never had stitches?
No, I haven't.
Wow, you've never had stitches?
No.
I've had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's getting stitches on her ankle from a bear trap that she probably has a sprained ankle too.
I don't know if it would sprain your ankle.
I don't know.
It wouldn't feel good. But
so
I don't know if it would sprain
her son, or what she assumes to be her son, stitches her ankle up.
No, I thought it was Mary.
Was it Mary?
Yeah, Mary
I
does
thought it was her. Well, one of her kids that are not her kids to her stitches up her ankle. She's screaming and whatnot. And her husband is like, you're such an idiot. Like, why did you run off? And ends up hitting her.
Yeah.
And I think she gets knocked out, and then she's passed out in the bed. So they like bring her back to her bed and whatnot. And she is just like, okay. Like, I don't know what to do.
She wakes up the next day.
She wakes up the next day. Like, that's what she does. And I don't know. There's just so much going on in her head. She's like, these aren't my kids. Like, what do I do? Like, I don't know anything. And I feel so bad for her. But she's also like this daughter here, this oldest daughter that she now has.
She doesn't like her.
She doesn't like her. Mary's mean. Mary is like, you're crazy.
She's like, why are you acting this way?
Yeah. And so her youngest daughter, Maeve, I believe, she's sitting there and she just like keeps being like, Mama, 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 I love you so much. And I would have been like, get away from me.
Oh my gosh. Noise canceling headphones.
There,
I
but
know.
there is one. I think this is right before she ran. She ends up by the front door and sees notches in it, and it says 1885.
Oh yeah, she did see that.
And I was like, does this mean we're in 1885, or what does this mean?
Yeah, I think she's assuming
That's
that's
like,
the year.
but I'm also just like, what's happening? Like, how did we go back in time? Because I think as a reader, you're also like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Because you've got 4 different kids now. You and your husband are still the same, essentially, even though he's just an older version.
Well, the issue too was you're kind of also seeing like what's happening now, and then she
Yes.
goes back to her normal life, and you're seeing like memories that she has.
Yes.
Where she's like kind of talking about her past and kind of how she got to this point.
Yes.
But it's starting way far back.
Yeah.
So you're like seeing a lot of stuff that you didn't see in the in between time of like her past or her actual life, and then this now alternate life.
Yes. It's a lot of things happen. She's living in this life, or this new life with these 4 kids, who she ends up being like, at one point Maeve is really sick.
Yeah, Maeve got a fever.
But
didn't she also get a fever from that bear trap?
Oh, she probably did, yeah. Yeah. She kind of accepts her life for a few days of this, of like, okay, like I need to get better at least, like I can't run.
Yeah.
And in that time, Maeve ends up getting a fever. Old Caleb is kind of like, she's fine, like she'll just sweat it out and whatnot. And it's weird, Natalie is like, I need to get her medicine, and she talks with Mary, and she's like, if I were to get medicine, like, where would I go? And she kind of directs her and packs a bag for her to go and take this, like, small journey, when she ends up getting to this random house. And she sees a truck, and she's like, oh my gosh, a truck. I need to get out of here. So she starts going through the house to the truck.
But it wasn't even an old truck.
It wasn't an old truck. It was a brand new truck. And you're just like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden she like hears something, and she hears it, and then she realizes it's a TV. And she sees this man sitting at a table peeling off stickers from veggies bought at a grocery store, throwing them into a basket that looked like it was homegrown. And this person turns around and says, "Mama," which I was like, she's hallucinating, because like she's got a fever too. Something's going on. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what I thought at that point. I did think it was weird that like this kid or this person,
because this was a grown man now.
Yeah. I guess my initial thought was like, oh, well, maybe that, I mean, obviously this person thinks that that's his mother, so maybe that is one of her kids.
Yeah. I don't know. So she freaks out and starts running again. And she doesn't know where she's going. And she ends up back at the farm. And as she's walking towards the farm, old Caleb is standing there. And she gets up to him, and I don't know, they're talking about something and whatnot. And a car comes by. And she's like, what is happening? She doesn't know what's going on. It was a Subaru. And all of a sudden, this spitting image of her eldest daughter, oh gosh, what's her name again? Clementine. I always forget it. Clementine steps out. And she's like, what's going on? Like, I have no idea what's happening. And Clementine is like, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. How's it going?
In her puffer jacket.
Yeah. And I was just like, what is happening? Literally, I was like, I have no idea what is going on.
Yeah. So essentially, that person who called her when she ran through the house was one of the sons that was like one of her first 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you find out that Clementine left when she was like 16.
Yes, with all of her siblings.
With all of the siblings that were there at the time. So that would have been all 5 because she was still pregnant.
Yeah.
Because remember when she woke up in the past,
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't pregnant anymore and she was concerned about the baby and she couldn't find it. Turns out that was Mary.
Who was her oldest. Her oldest of these 4 children.
Yeah. So Clementine took all of her siblings with her and then they left. I think she lived with her grandmother maybe for a while.
Yeah. And her aunt.
And,
yeah.
So you find out that she's essentially there because the son that she ran through his house called her and was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Like, she just came tearing through the house.
Yeah.
And Clementine is essentially there to take the rest of the kids.
But we figure out that she does have some type of illness because she can't reliably get, because of where they are, they can't reliably get the amount of meds that they need. So they have to spare them out.
And they sold their vehicle, so they have no way to get into town.
So they have no way to do anything. So it's like, it's only really when their one son can go into town to get meds, which isn't very often.
Well, also,
she probably needs a prescription for the types of meds she needs. So if she's not being seen by a doctor.
Can you imagine knowing? Because Caleb knows at this point that he has access.
I also hate to say it. The eldest daughter now, I guess, Mary, also knows her mom is like suffering from something.
Oh no, I was going to say, knowing you have access to medical care and you could go get help for that bear trap leg.
Yeah.
And you're just like, nah.
I'm going to stitch it up.
Yeah. Just have Mary stitch it up. You'll be fine.
And like they're eating this like bland diet of like broth and like carrots and stew and biscuit. Yeah. And I'm just like, what is happening? I think I was when Clementine got out of the vehicle, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. So you actually find out in the end, because it all kind of comes to a head with memories and things that's happening.
Yeah.
But you find out that she did eventually take some of the pills that her mother-in-law gave her.
Yes. While she was pregnant with Mary.
Yeah, while she was pregnant.
I wonder if that's also maybe why Mary doesn't want her to have the pills, too.
Well, because it was... So, you have to kind of go back a little bit now, because it was about Shannon.
Yes.
And how the producer claimed that Natalie sexually harassed her. And...
After Natalie found out Shannon was sleeping with her husband, Caleb.
Right. And she confronted her about it. Granted, she did get physical and she assaulted her.
Yes, but not sexually assaulted her.
No, it was just her trying to, murder her.
Yeah, because she slept with her husband. Yeah.
And she's got a lot of rage on the inside.
Yeah.
But that all comes to a thing during her father-in-law's presidential campaign to
which
try to
he
get
ends
elected.
up not winning.
Right. Because of this whole situation.
Yes.
And he couldn't get Natalie out of it because not only did she not tell her father-in-law the truth when he was trying to get somebody to, represent them, but, this whole... Shannon went on and did an interview, and she made it sound so pitiful and so sad.
But, that, not even just, Natalie, but their entire operation was, horrible. They mistreated animals, their children are being mistreated, everything. And it's, I don't even know who I feel sorry for. Natalie, I think the most, but I don't think the children were being mistreated per se. I just think that they had parents who really didn't love them.
Yeah, I think the first set of kids.
Yes. Weren't mistreated.
Yeah. I don't think they were. I mean, they had nannies. They had, they had all the stuff that they wanted. I don't believe that they were mistreated, but I do understand why Clementine would want to take them after, I guess, what happened. Because she didn't take them until after she had started taking all of the pills. And, doing all of that stuff. So, essentially, it all came to a head where Caleb told her, well, my father wants you killed.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what do you mean? That can't be true. And he's like, no, he wants you killed to make this problem go away with Shannon.
She was like, we've got winding roads where we are. We could easily have your brakes fail and mother dies pregnant with 6th child. He's like, we could easily make this go away.
Yeah. And so I think that was right. He confronted her about all of this stuff right after she took the pill. And so she was kind of in and out of it and not really responsive as well as she should have been. But they ended up not doing it. Obviously.
I was literally sitting there and I was just like, you're pregnant and you just took a pill that was, first of all, 3 years old. You took probably triple the dosage.
Well, it never says what it is, though.
No.
It's some type. I would guess it's maybe a muscle relaxer.
Oh, I was gonna think like some type of like antipsychotic thing.
Oh no, I was thinking a muscle relaxer.
Okay, it could be a combination of something.
Because
Yeah.
she wanted her to relax, and so
Yeah.
likely, I mean, and a lot of those are pretty addictive. So
Yeah.
um, I assumed that that's what it was, and that based on like she was like, oh, I'm on the floor and like I can't get up to fight him off. Like that made me think it was probably.
Oh yeah,
a
because
muscle
he also like
relaxer.
hits her at that point too, while they're in like the middle of this.
Yeah, well, she's arguing with him, and
Yeah.
he's telling her, no, like we were planning on killing you, and she's making it worse for herself. I don't know how they didn't end up doing it.
I know, right?
Unless it was just that scared her so bad that she never got in another car.
I mean, it could be that because you don't really see her getting, like, you don't hear
And
of
I feel
her
like
getting
she
in
did
another
mention
car.
that at one point, though. I feel like she did mention.
Oh, she
that
mentioned
wasn't
saying
gonna
that,
get in a
like,
car.
she was like, well, I don't, you just told me your plan. She's like, there's no reason for me to get in a car anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Right. So, yeah. That all happens. She ends up taking the pills. And then that's kind of the last present memory that you have from her. And
for a while.
Right. And then it kind of jumps back to the past, in quotes.
Yeah.
Where
they've turned the house into a real 1855 house. Yeah, they don't have indoor plumbing. They've got an outhouse. They have no electricity. They have to use the furnace.
Yeah,
they're in the middle of Idaho with like
taken everything
6 feet of snow.
Yeah, so you realize they've taken every comfortable amenity out of this house.
Yeah,
and you realize too why she did it, because after all of this stuff with Shannon was coming out, people were leaving comments saying like, I thought that, you know, she was more authentic than this. She really hasn't been living this life of a, you know, traditional wife. And like, she hasn't been doing all of these things. And, you know, they're kind of upset that they feel like she has fooled them. Mm-hmm. And so she starts, I guess she gets to a point. Yeah, she spirals and she gets to a point where she's like, well, they think that I should live like this. So this is how I'm going to live. And she gets rid of everything.
Electricity, social media, everything.
Indoor plumbing.
Yeah. I wonder, my question is, I wonder if they actually did get rid of electricity and Wi-Fi, and Caleb still has it in the barn, and that's why he sits in the barn all day.
No, he goes to his son's house, remember?
Oh,
and
that's
he watches
right.
TV on the couch.
Yeah, so Caleb going to do hunting duties and whatnot for the day with his family, he ends up walking to his son's house, which is maybe a mile or two away.
Yeah, I think it's a mile.
And he's got a TV and electricity and everything there.
Yeah, he sits at his son's house all day and watches TV.
Yep. So, and brings home then just food that his son has purchased.
That he peeled the stickers off of.
Yeah.
To make it look like he's been in the field.
And at one point, their oldest son out of the bottom four, after he becomes a certain age, he's like, oh, we're going out to hunt, or you're going to be doing your like manly duties, your manly chore and whatnot. So they go out and he goes out for the day. We don't really know what it is. And we come back only to realize that that's what he did for his birthday. Like he gets to now go do that with his dad if he wants to.
Yeah, he gets to go watch TV all day.
Yeah.
And instead of,
I'm just
farm
like,
chores.
What is happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also weird because in the middle of like this, I guess, kind of flashback into society of while they're living in this state, Caleb brings 2 men onto the farm, which you do realize later on it's her 2 boys that were older, the 2 oldest boys, to help him out with some like yard work or something and whatnot. And you end up realizing that Mary has a crush on one of them. And Mary...
But she thinks they're just
their neighbor boys. And, yes. And Mary is like, oh my gosh, like...
She's like, we should invite them for dinner.
Exactly. So they invite him for dinner and, they get to know like these men. And these men are probably like, what the freak is going on? Like,
they're probably like, this is
weird. You don't normally do this. But she's also like, well... Mary is at the age where she would be going off on her own and starting her own family. And she's like, oh, no, not my Mary. Like, what am I going to do without my Mary? And all of this. And it's really sad.
Yeah, I think. And so at the end, you do a lot of things kind of come to light. But you realize that like all of these kids are hers. Clementine's there to take the kids.
Yeah.
And I think she's missing so many years because of the drugs.
Yeah.
That was kind of my interpretation of it.
Yeah. Because after she takes those drugs and probably has Mary,
You
she
really
probably
you don't see
know
anything in between.
You don't know
there.
anything else. It's literally like you go from her taking these pills and
being pregnant
to waking up and being like, this isn't where I live. Where's my baby in my belly? And there's these other just random 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know what happens in the time. You know, you learn a little bit, like Mary or Clementine takes the 5 children, her and her 4 other siblings, and
But you don't learn that till the end.
You don't learn that till the end.
I mean, there's just all of these gaps.
Yeah.
And you never see any memories from that gap time frame.
I mean, you never do, and
So that makes me think that it was the drugs that kind of caused that, where she was just kind of in this haze the whole time.
But I think she also needs to be on some type of medication.
Oh, she absolutely needs something.
Yeah.
But I don't think she needs that medication.
No. And like, I think that's why she comes in and out of it, of like, oh, this is my family, this isn't my family.
Yeah.
And back and forth. I just felt really bad for her the entire time, or at least like up until like from like part 2 on, or maybe like, I don't know, middle of part 1 up until the end, because I'm like, she put herself in this situation, but she also didn't help herself at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're much more generous than me, because I didn't feel bad for her at all.
Oh, well, I hate Caleb and his whole family. Honestly, her mom and sister were not the greatest. I will say they weren't the greatest, but they did try to find help as they went.
Yes.
They later on went to therapy and were like,
and when they tried to help her,
it didn't happen.
She was rude to them.
She was like, how could you think divorce is okay? Because her sister got divorced.
But then you find out that really her mom was the one that cheated on her dad.
Yeah. And her dad her dad left because of that.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Right. So her mom's been lying to her whole life.
Her entire life. So she's probably like, what is this? Like, is this real life? I feel bad for the children too.
I
especially those younger ones.
I think I feel bad more for the kids than I do for anybody else in this situation, because it just wasn't fair to them.
And those last 4 kids that lived with like nothing.
Oh, that's so not fair.
That's so not fair.
And it's really sad too that I know Clementine wanted to take those kids.
Yes,
from the beginning.
Couldn't, yeah.
And she couldn't, and she was having to wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
Which is what happened when she left the farm and went running through someone else's house.
Yeah. So she did say she came with a warrant.
She did come with a warrant, but she had to like get that before taking those children. But yeah, it really, I feel so bad for the kids that they had to deal with this.
Yeah.
And then, you find out later, Maeve is like 10 years old.
And she's definitely stunted.
She's got some
developmental issues. No, there's definitely some type of developmental issues with her, because the way that I was thinking she was like maybe 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought.
And they were like, no, you haven't had a kid in 10 years, because at some point through this whole thing, she thinks she's pregnant again, because her period hasn't come, and it's been 2 months now since she's been living in this like alternate universe, and she's like, oh my god, I have to get out for this other kid and whatnot. And then when Clementine comes, she's like, Mom, you're 55 years old, you're going through menopause, like, and that's like when the whole thing kind of comes to light, and you're like, oh my gosh, like these kids are her sibling, like, what? Yeah,
it was a wild ride.
Yeah, I did like the book.
Oh, it was good.
It was a lot. I think
that's not where I expected this to go.
I listened to this. I think listening to it, again, I didn't like physically read it, but I actually did like listening to it, because I feel like I could stand there and like she would say something and I could like not imagine it, but I could be like, okay, like this is what we're talking about. Versus if I was reading, I would have gotten lost with where we were.
I feel like listening to it feels more like
I'm inside her brain.
Yeah. Because you really, you kind of get the breaking of thoughts in one spot, and then you're jumping to somewhere else. And instead of like reading it on a page, you're just kind of hearing it go through her head.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, I liked listening to it too.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. For a while there, they had me convinced it was time travel.
I know, me too. And I was
like,
just
man, how did this work? How did this happen? I did not think this was going to be like a science fiction novel.
Well, I also didn't read
I didn't either.
the book summary until 5 minutes before we started this episode.
Yeah, no, my sister's the one who recommended this book to us. And she said she really liked it. She didn't really tell me anything about it. I usually don't ask, though. I'm usually like, okay, this one's on the list now. And so it happened to come up for both of us, so we ended up reading it through the library app. And yeah, I didn't know where it was going. I have stopped reading the synopsis. I've just stopped reading them. I find I'm much more cynical if I read them about what's going to happen in the book.
Yeah, because then I'm like, when is it going to happen?
Or I'm like, I wouldn't like that, and I don't read them.
That's true. Yeah,
So
if somebody's like, oh, this is a
them.
really good book, I liked it. If you could give me the genre, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, sure,
No,
let's try it. No?
My sister doesn't even do that. She just goes, you should read this book. And I go, okay.
Okay. I mean, I really liked it.
I did too.
It was interesting. It kept my attention. It was a really quick listen to.
Yeah, how long was it? Like
14 hours?
14? Yeah.
Yeah, it went by very fast because there was so much going on that you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you...
Well, I think it's funny, though, that she was like, oh, that's old Caleb. And it's like, yeah, you're old, too now.
You're old, too, now.
You're
it's
with
just you
him.
probably don't have a mirror.
Yeah, I know. I did wonder that. I was like,
Yeah.
is she not seeing anything? Is she not looking at herself?
I
But I guess
know.
the outhouse didn't have one.
Yeah, and she probably, obviously, like, did the bathroom just get turned into a closet? Or, like...
I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe he, like, boarded that wall up or something.
See, that's what I was going to say. They probably
The
boarded it
bathroom
up.
wall, yeah. Because they took you know what really got me so she got caught in the bear trap, and then like a day or two later, Mary was like, we need to clean your wound, and she was like, no, I really don't. We don't need to, and she was like, no, it's going to get infected. So they unwrap it. I forgot who stitched her wound. I don't know if it was Mary or if it was Mary. Anyway, as they unwrap it, they were like, she goes, I look at my leg and I see all the bits of muscle that got stuck on the outside are hard and crusty. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Oh. Yeah.
I would be furious
if my husband...
if I woke up and that was how this happened.
Yeah.
And then knowing that he could very easily get me medical attention and he didn't.
Yep. So I will say she ends up going to jail. We don't know about Caleb or his family.
Yes.
Because at the end, she is doing an interview with her old college roommate.
Yeah, because she specifically asked for Raina.
Yes, because Raina ends up going for like broad newscasting and journalism, something.
Well, so in the first part of the book, it is set up in an interview style where someone is asking her questions. You don't know who it is, but someone's asking her questions. And she starts to answer them, and then she goes off on this weird tangent, and then it's kind of a memory at the same time, but then she comes back to herself, and she's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
And then you kind of see the next question come up. So that was actually, like, present time.
Yes.
But then the story kind of goes backwards from there, or kind of takes a jump back, and then you go forward towards that point. So you find out that she specifically asked for Raina because she's been keeping track with her career this whole time. She's been watching her, and like I think she is building herself up. She's like, oh, this is going to be the best thing to ever happen to Raina's career. I'm the one who's going to make her something.
I only wanted to talk to her because I know her. And I really wish she would have gone into like a psych ward, because I think she would have like done better with like actual good medication, but she just had gone to prison for child abuse and like animal neglect or something. I don't know about
No, I think it was both of them.
I think it was both.
And I think this didn't even have anything to do with Shannon. So you never really find out what happened with the trial with Shannon.
No.
You just find out that she's now being accused of child
neglect, endangerment,
all of that stuff, which is all true.
For the last 4 children,
at this point, yes, it's all true. So, I would love to have. Maybe I'm not remembering, but I really don't remember what happened with Shannon's trial. Because she went off the grid fully, and maybe they got her off of it.
I don't know,
because of her husband's family.
Well, they said her husband's family, he didn't win, and like they kind of disappeared from society.
Oh, maybe, oh no, I do remember. that did happen, and I think they paid her off.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
yes, they did.
And
pay
then
her
they
off.
kind of just like went off the grid, but
Yeah.
then anytime it would pop up like in the news or something,
Yeah.
they would pay to get it taken away.
Oh, that's true. Yes. So, but at that point, like they had to have living really off the grid.
And they did such a good job, I even forgot about
I
it.
know, right? I don't know what happened. So Raina's sitting there and like, hell, so before we start the interview, like, I want to tell you about like your daughter is writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up being Mary, that fifth or sixth child who
Yeah.
is right in the middle. She's writing a book about her life and how she's kind of overcome the struggles and whatnot, which she ends up writing a letter kind of in the preface of the book to her mom and being like, Mom, like, well, she uses mama, but like, Mama, and, you know, I know you really do love us, and kind of like an ode to her of like, kind of a thank you, but not really. I don't even know. It was more of just like
It
a,
was like an acknowledgement of
Yeah.
just like, you know, I think she acknowledged that Natalie was going through a lot,
yeah.
but this is kind of her side of the story.
Yeah. And they're all four of Mary and her three younger siblings live with Clementine in like Santa Monica or something, right next to the beach, because at one point in the first part, Shannon, the producer, was like, "Oh, you've never heard of like the ocean?"
Well, so
Which was really weird.
no, I think it was, so what happened was they were asking like, "Oh, why do you want to come out here?" And Shannon was like, "Oh, I've always wanted to travel. I've always wanted to see the Pacific Ocean. That was such
Yeah.
a dream of mine, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah." And, you know, Natalie kind of fell into it thinking like, "Oh, this is some poor college kid
Yeah.
who like, you know, she just wants to kind of get out, see the world kind of thing. And
Mhm.
she's doing this for really cheap, so, you know, can't complain too much."
Yeah.
And that during that conversation was when
Mary.
the kids were
Clementine.
like, "What is an ocean?"
Yeah.
And Natalie's like, "You
You
know what an ocean
is."
is?" And they're like, "No." So that kind of brought it up. But then you find out later when the whole trial thing with Shannon came up that Shannon's actually really rich.
Yeah, her whole
And
family.
She's very well traveled.
Yeah. And that Shannon honestly was probably doing this not like to probably do Shannon was probably doing this to get the inside scoop to show the world.
Yeah, she wanted to expose them.
Yeah, I couldn't think of that word.
Yeah, I think that was her whole plan, because as soon as
Yeah.
she got there, she started taking pictures of stuff
Yeah.
that she shouldn't have been.
Of like the workers, the pesticides they used on
Yeah.
the farm, and she was like, Natalie was like, I told my husband he needed to hide that, or her husband didn't even know that they were using pesticides. It was more of like,
Yeah.
I told the workers that they need to hide that and everything, and
Right. And then they didn't.
and they didn't, and somebody had saw it, and at one point she left her baby in the car while she went to the grocery store, and then
gosh.
a fan had saw her in the grocery or in like Target or something and was like, oh my gosh. And later on while she was putting away groceries.
So when they were in the store, the woman came up to Natalie and she was like, you know, you've been such an inspiration for me. I've been dealing with postpartum depression, and, you know, your content has really helped me get through a lot of this. And, you know,
Yeah.
I really look up to you and all of this. And Natalie was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to help you, blah, blah, blah. Ever the gracious person. But then she makes a little comment at the end.
I don't know. She makes it. I forgot what it was.
And it put off the other person to that. And then they left.
Yeah.
They went their separate ways.
I remember what she said. She was like, oh my gosh, you always look so put together. And she goes, well, you can always make yourself up too.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And it was like, oh, that's not
that
nice.
was a little weird one.
You shouldn't have said that.
So yeah,
it was one of those little backhanded compliments.
Yes.
You know?
So Natalie's ending up, she's loading her groceries into the car?
So she gets back to her car, and that's when the other woman catches up with her. What was it for? She wanted to say something to her.
I think she wanted to say the thing about the postpartum. Like,
was that what it was?
Yeah, at first we didn't know.
Because at
that,
first
but
she was just like, oh my gosh, you're Natalie. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you're the person on Yesteryear Farm. Like,
yeah.
And so she wanted to tell her all of that stuff when the baby makes a noise in the back of the car, and the other woman goes, did you leave your baby in the car?
And Natalie didn't know how to respond.
Oh, when she said, did you leave your baby in the car? I literally went,
I was like, oh my gosh. Well, first of all, she did say that. She was like, hey, I'm going out with Jessa Lynn, or whatever the baby's name was. And I was just like, okay, like that's fine. And I didn't think anything of it while they were like talking in like the aisle or whatnot, because I'm like, okay, the baby's probably just sitting there or in a car seat, like sleeping or whatnot. But I feel like if she saw the baby, she would have said something and been
That's
like,
true.
oh my gosh, is this one of your amazing children?
Yeah, like, which one is this? You know, whatever.
But I didn't think
agree,
of it.
But I didn't either.
Until later, and she's like, did you leave your baby in the car? And then she's like, oh my God, I have to get in front of this. And she's like thinking of all the ways of like how she could twist this on that other person. And like, I'm like, Natalie, calm down.
Audibly gasped.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think I was like, oh my God. I literally was like,
she left her baby in the car? I cannot. Like,
and she tried to like think of an excuse like, oh, well, I was only in there for like 10 minutes or something like that. And she's like, I ended the conversation and drove away. And I was just like,
yeah, because you don't really see how it ended because she's like panicking in her head.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's like driving home.
Yeah.
So
I think that was the craziest, like one of the craziest things.
I was shocked. But it's also, I feel like, on par with Natalie.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she was leaving her first kid with her mom all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she still had supervision. But, like, you know, at this point, this is her fifth
kid.
kid.
And she was pregnant with an ex, yeah.
And she's leaving the kid in the car. How many times did she do this before that?
That's
How many
true.
times did she do this after?
I know.
Where she was just leaving the kids unattended.
I know. It was a crazy book.
That was a wild ride.
I never knew what was happening next.
I didn't either, yeah.
And I was just like, this is literally, I think I kept texting you. I'm like, because you had finished before me. And I was like, this is crazy. And I was just like, no, this is crazy. If this wasn't crazy, if I didn't think it was crazy before, it's even crazier now.
You're like, wait, it's worse. Wait, it's
Wait
worse.
Wait a second. I just like, things kept coming, and I was just like, what is happening?
I think I did not even think that it was going to be drugs, I guess.
No.
And it never really outright said that that's what it was, or addiction. I did not think that that's where this was going. I still, up until probably a really far point, was like, is this really time travel?
Yeah, I know.
And then when she hit the whole going through the neighbor's house and the truck and everything, I was like, oh no, this isn't right.
Yeah.
I was like, she's had some kind of psychotic break.
Yeah. I think at one point I was like, old Caleb, he's weird. And it was just like, this is crazy that like this is happening. And I was just like, the producer, Shannon, don't like her. I just, the random text messages that I sent you of this book, and it was just like, what is happening?
Yeah, I didn't like her either. She felt shady from the beginning.
Yeah, like she was immediately taking pictures, and then she was like, oh, well, I have this small room. That's it. Because she was sharing the room with the two nannies. Which, I mean, I will say.
And in a barn.
Like, but I will say, I don't know.
I mean, she's paying them, and they
don't have to pay for anything, rent or food or whatnot. So.
I don't know. Would you take a job like that?
In like the middle of no, I need to be by the ocean. If it was by the ocean, yes, I would take it. I couldn't take it in the middle of nowhere, so off the grid. And not even like that they were so off the grid, but like they were still like 20 miles from the nearest Target. Not that I need to be near a Target or anything, but it's more of just like
civilization.
I need to be a little closer to civilization. And it doesn't have to be a big town. Like I'm fine with like a coastal town that's just like chilling, walks on the beach every day. Like, yeah,
the life.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you? I don't think I could take it. I don't think I could take it simply because I'm not going to be a nanny. Point blank, period. I'm not going to be a nanny.
Yeah.
And I don't really have the skills to be someone's social media producer, considering that you do all of our social media, not me.
I mean, I'm not the greatest at it either, but I think I could probably
doing better than me.
I can figure out a few videos.
You're doing better than me, but
the editing might be a little rough.
Think they would need any of my skills. I mean, do they need skills with chickens? I can help you with chickens.
Yeah. Look at all those chickens.
All the ladies.
Yeah.
They were her ladies.
Oh, yeah, she called them the ladies.
So.
And the cow that kept dying, I felt really bad.
Then they kept naming it the same thing.
Yeah.
She was like, I think it's really eerie that they just keep naming all the cows the same thing. And Caleb's like, that's a perfectly good name for a cow.
Yeah. What was it? Was it Jezebel?
No, it was Bessie.
Oh.
Betsy, right?
I thought it was Jezebel.
Or Bessie. No, I don't know why you keep pulling up Jezebel. Jezebel was not in this book at all. There was no Jezebel.
I'm sorry. I don't know why.
I don't either. There was no Jezebel.
Okay, well, old Bessie kept getting replaced. And at one point, I think they bought 2 because Caleb was like, they do better repairs. And I was just like, do they?
Well, they kept dying.
I know.
I want to know what they kept doing to those poor cows.
All you need is some hay. Unless if the hay was rotten.
I mean, they need to give them more than just hay.
Yeah, but fresh hay and water, that's not that hard.
It's not, but
you don't even need to, like, give them hay if you just have an open field.
I think you still need to give them stuff.
I know. They need some grain. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a cow expert, but I'm pretty sure you do
I'm
still
no cow expert.
It's a cow farm. There's going to be cows on here.
It's a cow farm.
There's going to be cows outside.
Do you have any? I'm dying. It's been a long day. Do you have any final thoughts of this book?
It was good.
It was.
I liked it.
I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
If you were hesitant about reading this, go read it.
Yeah, you should definitely read it. It's a wild ride.
Yeah. You will never know what happens next.
Well, unless you listen to this first.
Yes. Yeah. Go read it first and then come back. I already said that, but you know.
So you're saying that now?
I said it at the beginning too.
Don't
when I
hit
said
me.
spoilers. Well, thank you for listening. If you liked this,
You looked so sad.
If you liked this, you can find us on Instagram, The Call Slip, at The Call Slip. Wow, I'm very tired. We have a Gmail if you want to email us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Leave us a like and a comment. Both work. We appreciate it. If you have a book suggestion, leave it in the comment as well. We are working through a small list that we have, but we're getting there. And we have some sequels that we have of the few trilogies or series of books coming up soon as well. So be on the lookout for that if you're looking for one in particular. And yeah, you got anything else?
No.
Okay. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.